Welcome to Life Change Community. Well, we're marching near Christmas, actually just a couple of days away. How are you feeling? Are your feelings intensifying? Is the joy higher or is the stress higher? Or do you have a little bit of both? 'Tis the season to be jolly or melancholy. You know, Jesus is the answer for the issues you're facing in your life. Today we have a guest. I haven't done this before, but I've traveled to Indiana to be with my parents and to visit with my daughters who are driving here this morning. My dad is a pastor. He is 75 years old and still pastoring a church every Sunday, preaching and teaching. And so I asked him if he'd join us on this segment. And he's going to be talking about an aspect of the Christmas story and why Jesus can change your life. So here's my dad. Thanks so much for being a part of this segment today. We were talking about the wise men a little earlier. Who were these people? What were they like?
You know, they're a fascinating group of people because as you look at the three of them, they were powerful men. They were popular. They were creative men. And they were religious men. But they had something in their heart that wasn't quite right. They were looking, they were searching, they were walking, they were riding their animals. They were carrying valuable gifts. But they saw and had heard about a Messiah that was going to be born in Bethlehem. So they got together, they left their palaces, their water-heated gardens, and they got on their camels and they started. Did you know it took them 2 years to finally follow the star that was leading their lives, and suddenly the star stopped, and they remembered from other stories that they had heard that this Messiah would be born in Bethlehem.
What do you think compelled them to leave their homes and go?
Well, we know that they were well acquainted with kings. They walked in wealthy circles. They walked in powerful circles. They created a lot of interest wherever they went. Mm-hmm. But they were willing to somehow give that up in order to find that hunger part that we're talking about. And I think the hunger part is what drove them.
Right.
I think they really felt that in their heart of hearts, and that's where it all starts, deep within us, a hunger. And I think the message that they were looking for is still the same message that you and I look for. Suddenly, I think they realized when they were there, something different was going to happen and change their life. So they decided to do it, and they risked everything. And I think sometimes when we search for God, we have to risk a lot. We have to give up a lot sometimes, but we usually get more than we give. And so they were searching for God, and finally they found him. But to their surprise, it was a little baby. And they looked at him, they walked in, and they saw the cattle around him and the low environment. But there was something about the child that captivated them. In fact, the Bible says that they took their wealthy gifts and they laid them at his feet, but they didn't stop there. They literally bowed down and worshiped that little baby. And suddenly the hole in their heart was completely filled.
When they went looking for what would fill them inside, what do you think they discovered about God?
I think that when they saw the baby, probably their first impression was the baby had been searching for them all of these centuries of time, and they were willing to search for him. And when they did that, they did something very unusual and yet very supernatural. The unusual thing was that he was a baby, pure and holy. But the most magnificent thing was, while God was searching them and they were searching God, suddenly they transferred who they were to what he became. And that not only filled the hole in their heart, but it supernaturally filled the hole in God's heart. Because he was wanting to reach them as badly as they were wanting to reach him. I think that's the secret of life. And maybe people are hurting today. They're running around, they're trying to create joy and happiness and fulfillment, and suddenly that's not enough. And when it's not enough, I like what you said. When we start looking at God filling our heart and changing that around to where we can fill his heart, that's going to change your life.